been a month since Born Lucky came out. It's been quite a month indeed. And yes, Born Lucky is my story of being diagnosed with what we now know to be autism, my dad's story of adapting me to the world rather than the world to me. The first rule in the news business is the news cannot be about you. So this segment is not about me or even the book. It's actually about all of you, because I have gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of emails and social media messages about the hope you are finding in Born Lucky. And not just for the parents of kids with autism. I've heard from parents of kids with nut allergies, parents of kids with ADHD and anxiety, parents of kids with no diagnosis at all, but just having a hard time at school. As I told you when Born Lucky came out, inside are some of the darkest, most difficult times in my life. Let me tell you, going to therapy on national television at 43 years old is a little bit like sitting in a bathtub full of scissors. But thanks to your response, the hope it has given to you, the power it has given to parents, it has been worth it. With us now, Don Yaeger. In his 30 years as a journalist, he has worked with some of the greatest champions of our time, the author of 13 New York Times best-selling books, including, I might say, 12 really spectacular, deeply moving stories. The 13th is Born Lucky, my book. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
More importantly, thank you for sending your private jet to pick me up.
Well, we had to make sure you would get here, and Delta wasn't going to do it.
Right.
So there
Awesome.
you go. Thank you. Have you been surprised by the nerve this has touched? Without question.
Without question. I mean, even you and I have had a chance to do a little bit together, a book signing and some other things. The number of people that are coming up, driving from hours away, just to say thank you. What do you think they're really saying thank you for? I think they're saying thank you for allowing them to feel like they're part of, they're not alone, right? I mean, I think you've used that phrase a few times. Too many people, when you get that diagnosis, when a doctor tells you this is what you're up for, your immediate feeling is, how do I do this and who do I do it with? And the sense of being alone is maybe the hardest thing of all. For a parent. For a parent. And now so many parents feel like they're not alone. They're part of this community. I ask you this, and I think this was a really important part for me as a journalist, becoming part of the story or really being the story itself. There was a lot of conversations you and I had where you were really digging things out and pulling stories out of me and my parents and providing a second journalistic eye to it. What do you think was the most important thing you pulled out of me and my parents that maybe we weren't so keen to talk about? You know, I'm going to point to your father. There was a particular day that I spent with him and your mom down in Fort Myers, and in that time there were several points in which he just said, I need to stop here. Like I can't go further. I can't answer. But then he would come back and he would. And it's that willingness to dig in. It's that willingness for him to dig in. It's that willingness for you to open up about stories that, as you said, are like being in a bathtub full of scissors. That allowed people to feel something that made this book resonate. And that's I think what everybody's hoping to do when you're telling a good story, is to make other people feel like they can touch it. And in your story, they can.
You pulled out of me some really incredible things, and there is no way Born Lucky would have been as raw or as forthright, as journalistically honest, and I think as successful in the end at helping people, had you not been a part of this story. Is there a story in the book that you think really illustrates for everyone the hope that exists?
I think it's the story of you in the Middle East. It's the idea, again, those of us who understand autism, we understand people on the spectrum. We have personal relationships into that world. The thought of someone on that spectrum, sitting with rockets landing all around them, with crowds pulling at them, and being able to conduct yourself as a journalist of the highest order. Those moments don't exist if your father hadn't done the work, if you hadn't been willing to do the work, to actually allow yourself to be to take what challenged you and actually make it a strength.
You know, I'll give you the last 30 seconds. The thing that surprised me the most is how we've had everybody from Steve Bannon to Joe Scarborough almost in tears over this story. And there's not been any negative response to it. Still could come, but there hasn't been so far. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because this is everyone's story, right? It's your story, but it's everyone's story. And you've done such a masterful job even in the time that we've been working on the book's publicity of sharing with others. It isn't just about autism, right? This is about that kid with ADHD. That is that kid that gets bullied in school. All of us have been there. And when you can make it everyone's story, it's impossible. It's impossible to ignore.
Yeah, and every parent, I think, has felt powerless and helpless. And this is proof of the power that they have. Thank you for helping me share this with the world.
My honor.
Thank you. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.